Hello, my name is Pamela Nickel. For the past several years, there's been quite a controversy on gun control in the United States. Advocates for gun control have relied on figures to argue against the rights of law-abiding citizens to responsibly own and possess firearms. In 1994, an act went into effect, the Brady Handgun Violence Prevention Act, also known as the Brady Bill. And this was the first time that the United States instituted a federal background checks on firearm purchases in the United States to be completed. It was signed into law by President Bill Clinton in 1993 and went into effect on February the 28th, 1994. The act was named after James Brady, who was shot by John Hinckley Jr. during an attempted assassination of President Ronald Reagan in 1981. The Brady Act requires that background checks be conducted on individuals before a firearm may be purchased from a federally licensed dealer. If there are no additional state restrictions, a firearm may be transferred to an individual upon approval by the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, the NICS. This is maintained by the FBI. In some states, a proof of a previous background check can bypass the NICS check. For example, a state-issued concealed carry permit usually includes a background check equivalent to the one required by the Act. This Act prohibits anyone from purchasing or owning a firearm if they have been convicted of in any court of a crime punishable by imprisonment for a term exceeding 1 year. If they're a fugitive from justice, if they're an unlawful user of and addicted to any controlled substance, if they've been adjudicated as a mental defect or committed to a mental institution, and of course an illegal alien or anybody unlawfully in the United States is not allowed to purchase or own a handgun or firearm. If you've been discharged from the armed forces under dishonorable conditions, and if you've been a citizen of the United States but have denounced your citizenship, or if you're subject to a court order that restrains a person from harassing, stalking, or threatening another person, or if you've been convicted in any court of a misdemeanor crime of domestic violence. Now, in order to receive a concealed carry permit in the state of Missouri, you have to complete a class of the operations of handguns to make sure that you know how to operate it safely. And then you go to your local sheriff's department and they issue you a certificate of qualification. Now, there's only a few things that can be listed on that certification. Now, you have to be at least 23 years of age, a citizen of the United States. Of course, your name and your address. You have to assume residency in the state. And if you're a member of the armed forces stationed in Missouri or a spouse of such member of the military. You have not pled guilty or entered a plea of guilty of any crime punishable by imprisonment exceeding 1 year. And any of those crimes cannot involve any type of explosive weapon, firearm silencer, or a gas gun. And since these laws have went into effect, there has been the person-on-person crime has went down. Carjacking, property thefts are down, and the repeal of assault weapon ban. The domestic terrorists have not overthrown the government. I know there's quite a bit of talk, and we hear about terrorism on a daily basis, but really none of that has increased since these laws was passed. It has established and all that people's personal preference for high-capacity magazines. In some states, you're not allowed to own a magazine for a firearm that exceeds 10 to 15 rounds in that magazine. Now, statistics related to gun control, firearm types with Missouri recovery. I'd just like to show you that on average this was from January 1st, 2008 to December the 31st, 2008. And these are the type of firearms that was recovered: pistols, revolvers, rifles, shotguns, derringers, machine guns, combinations, destructive devices, any other weapons and unknown types. If you'll notice, pistols, yes, are what is being recovered in Missouri the most. So this is the total number of firearms recovered and traced in Missouri by the calendar year. In 2008, 4,610 firearms was recovered. I'd also like to show you that the drop in violent crimes. What this will show you is that the type of crimes that are committed: possession of weapons, 1,004, dangerous drugs, 953, found firearms, there's 551, weapons offense, 393, carrying a concealed weapon, 312. Now, this does not mean that it's somebody that has a concealed carry permit. These are people that are carrying guns that are unlawfully entitled to do so. You have the aggravated assault, property crimes. None is provided in firearm under investigation, and robbery. If you will see that robbery actually is the lowest in the state of Missouri. In 1994, firearm crimes as a percent of all the violent incidents was at 11%. In 2008, that was 7%. Now, in taking this into effect, you would say that it has went down. Actually, there's been no account for the population growth in these statistics, which kind of brings me to my point that really you can change the statistics to suit whatever your argument may be. I believe that it's the privilege for responsible persons to possess and carry firearms of their choice without the government intervention for personal protection and protection of their property. And this should be every citizen's right as afforded by the federal, state, and local government. Thank you.